Thank you, John. We are about to discover what difference a year does make. This time last year, Ireland had limped home from the World Cup, and so had New Zealand. The All Blacks recovered. They are the Tri-Nations champions yet again. Ireland, well, they limped again through the Six Nations. They got rid of their coach. They have a new man, Declan Kidney, in charge. That man, Brian O'Driscoll, is still captain. He captains Ireland for the 50th time today. But since that disappointing Six Nations, Ireland too have gone through recovery. They were majestic in defeat on tour in New Zealand, if you can be that. They ran the All Blacks close, but that record still stands. They have never beaten the All Blacks. What a setting though, Croke Park. Could this be a first?
Ladies and gentlemen, the IRFU would like to ask patrons to observe a minute's silence as a mark of respect to the recent tragic death of Garryowen FC club member Mr. Shane Geoghegan. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much.
Silence at Croke Park in memory of Shane Geoghegan of the Garryowen Club in Limerick. And now we will have Croke Park at full throttle as the All Blacks prepare for the haka. Ireland have chosen Alan Quinlan in the back row. The combination of Jamie Hislop and David Wallace to see if they can stop Richie McCaw and Dan Carter. And behind the scrum, Luke Fitzgerald and Brian O'Driscoll. What midfield menace can they pose? Now then, this All Black pack is as strong as they can get, led by the majestic Richie McCaw. And in midfield, Ma Nonu and Conrad Smith. And on the bench for Ireland, two back row forwards. That contest to come. First, the All Black haka. One challenge laid down, and the Irish crowd laid down their own. Good evening, Philip Matthews.
Oh, it's great to be in Croke Park. I think we saw a little bit of Croke Park factor there. The singing of the anthems, a very emotional moment there with a minute's silence, and then some real adrenaline pumping, a show of aggression from the haka. And didn't the crowd love it? It's really brought the crowd into this game before the kick-off.
Ireland, well, they've gone into a set of routines. They made the All Blacks wait before they made their entrance, and now it seems they're just going to cool things down after the haka. Yeah, you've done your war dance. We're in no rush to get on with this.
Yeah, well, Declan Kidney was very flat before the game. He was giving absolutely nothing away to Sonia in his interview. Well, we all know him from old and his success in the Heineken Cup with Munster. He is a very shrewd man. You can be rest assured that was stage managed. That's designed to just take the adrenaline away from that haka, get the crowd back settled down again, and get Ireland focused on the job in hand.
Referee from South Africa, Mark Lawrence. He waits while the third Irish anthem rings out, the fields of Athenry. Dan Carter has the ball. Ireland have not beaten New Zealand in 103 years of trying. One draw in 1973.
Captain Black.
Can they do it? Or will Dan Carter's men prove themselves too strong? We're about to find out. Ireland versus New Zealand at Croke Park. Gervin Dempsey restored to the Irish fullback position. Ronan O'Gara charged now by Jimmy Cowan. Ireland cover. Perhaps they took the heat out of themselves a bit too much. Lazy start by Ireland.
Well, Ronan O'Gara wanted just a little bit too much time there, didn't he? Cowan was very quickly up on it, and only for the pace of Carney, he was able to get back and get himself away from Cowan.
Give the gaps.
Carney, who plays fullback. Perhaps that's where he wants to play one day. But Gervin Dempsey, given the role today, this is Kevin Nialamu, All Black hooker. First set piece of the game. The All Blacks have taken it down to 4. Ali Williams takes his time making the call. But it is Williams, the target, who wins it. Carter, Brad Thorne into midfield. David Wallace makes the assist on the tackle. Cowan looked left, there wasn't anybody there. Ireland with the advantage, knock-on advantage. Now there are numbers outside O'Gara. And that kick just eluding Tommy Bowe on the right wing. There's Tommy Bowe, who plays his rugby now in Wales with the Ospreys.
Well, that's what Ireland need to do at the breakdown. They need to be very competitive at the breakdown and give Khan no options at all. A little bit aided by Mark Lawrence in there, in terms of shutting down the alley for Khan. However, it's just on the Irish 10-metre line.
Ireland have left. Well, it's a contingent of 6 in the line out. The All Blacks down to 4. Numbers not a problem now. You can have unequal numbers. Williams goes up. Ragged tap down. Cowan scrapes it back to Carter. Conrad Smith in midfield, and again it's David Wallace there. All Blacks going back to get this ball out. Williams, the big second row.
On his feet. Fine.
Carter, first test for Gervin Dempsey. Mr. Hurry. Sitiveni Sivivatu was there. Mills Muliaina, who's just joined the tour, having waited for his wife to have their child.
Run away there, green, hands! No.
Paul O'Connell has been penalised. We'll go back to the original penalty.
Well, I think it was Alan Quinlan.
Right from the side,
No, he said he was coming in from the side. I'm not so sure that I'd agree with that, but it's certainly given New Zealand a 3-point penalty opportunity, and they've largely got that through Carter's field position. He's kept the ball
from the side,
deep in the Irish 22, forced them to kick to touch, and they've dominated possession so far.
Yeah, I said Paul O'Connell because that surge by Quinlan, look, it just came straight through the middle, didn't he?
Yeah, seemed fine to me, unless he was penalised for falling over the ball afterwards, but either way, I think it was a bit harsh.
One of the more familiar sights of World Rugby. Daniel Carter lining up a kick at goal. One of the more unfamiliar sights. Daniel Carter missing a penalty.
Well, you'd have to say in the last couple of years he probably hasn't reached the heady heights that he had done in his first couple of years of international rugby, and this is it's a big game for the likes of Ronan O'Gara, who you'd have to say is at the peak of his powers. A real test. That's the kind of test you really want in any international sport. You want to put yourself against the best, and this for Ronan O'Gara is as big as it gets.
Williams beaten to it, the touchdown taken by John Hayes. Ireland on the charge for the first time. Oh, that's good surge in midfield. Luke Fitzgerald, Marcus Horan.
Hits them all. Go backwards, play on.
Referee lets a very scrappy situation go on. All Blacks emerge with the ball. Carter again. Ma Nonu. Conrad Smith. Yeah, indicated a Sivivata to come inside. Nonu was there. Danger here. Mulyaina. Cowan in support. Mulyaina shrugs off the Irish defenders, two of them. Cowan waits.
Play on, play on.
Play on. John Hayes picks up the scraps this time from an untidy New Zealand ruck. That's out too. And the advantage not gained by Ireland, back to the original penalty, not releasing. Whoa, this game is off to a furious start.
Well, that was wonderful turnover by Ireland. Hayes and O'Connell in particular,
Thank you.
taking the All Blacks high and not allowing them to get the ball to ground. And then when they do, maintain that challenge, and they're pinged for holding on. That's what Ireland need to do. They need to try and bully New Zealand at the breakdown. Not easy, because in Soyalo and McCall they've got two of the biggest bullies in school, but that's what they need to do. Good start by Ireland. They just need territory. They can't play the rest of this half in their own half. They've really got to get some territory out of this.
Rory Best of Ulster, just two non-Munster men in the Irish pack. Jamie Heaslip, the number 8, the other one. All Blacks are stolen. Ireland's ball. McCaw goes back.
How was that?
Nonu, Conrad Smith.
Thank you.
Smith straightens.
Rock!
Cowan.
Also a mole. Right, run away, Green. Run away.
Big
Right, rock form, last feet.
props out in midfield for the All Blacks. Nehemiah Tialata, and since nobody, not even the hefty front rowers, can find any room, boot put to ball, both by New Zealand and Ireland. Gervin Dempsey's kicked straight out. New Zealand with the advantage.
Well, that's a mistake. That's just handing them possession by Dempsey. Really just needed to put that in the middle of the park and force New Zealand to do something with it. Well, he's just sliced that off the side of his boot, and yet again Ireland can't relieve the pressure.
New Zealand's line out fully operational and fully manned on this occasion. All the forwards in. Ali Williams giving the call to Mialamu. Williams the target, beaten to it. Play on, says the referee. Was there a knock on there? So it's come back to Williams. Stopped absolutely in his tracks there.
Right, leave it now.
Carter. O'Driscoll goes back.
Last feet. Green.
All Blacks have possession though. Danger here for Ireland. Mulyaina. Ireland back. Great scramble defence. New Zealand still in possession. And the scramble defence has its reward. New Zealand penalised, but danger there. And Ireland can't win any set-piece possession.
Oh, 9 times out of 10 New Zealand put those away. Mulyaina great on the ball. Now he had Horan, who was drifting onto Rocococo, and it was well played by Horan because he didn't commit himself too early. It would have been a very, very easy 2-on-1 if he hadn't. He just slowed things up enough to allow the Irish cover to get back and tackle Mulyaina.
Luke Fitzgerald was the man who got back on the scramble defence, and here's Ronan O'Gara.
Blacks on the line.
Play goes up only to the 22, but it is one of the features here of Crow Park that the touchline is so far into the playing surface that kickers to touch have to take care. Rory Best again. Important for Ireland to get something out of this. Oh, well taken, John Hayes. He wasn't the target, but he was alert enough, the prop, to win that one.
Run away, Black!
Slow ball for Ireland, but at least it is possession. Tomas O'Leary with a little kick forward towards Joe Rokothoko, winning his 50th cap today. And here's the counter. Carter, Tommy Bowes knows there's danger. Nonu, strength from Nonu through O'Gara. Did that go forward? Yes, it did. Sirivato will have to come back.
Oh, you really can't afford to go too high on these All Blacks. We've seen it a couple of times. They're so strong at a handoff. That time Nonu handing off O'Gara. Probably not his strength, O'Gara, but again, Ireland managing to snuff that out. But they're spending far too much time deep in their own half, and that's only going to be one result, and that's going to mean New Zealand putting points on the board. They've really got to get some consistent possession, getting control of the ball, and start getting some territory to put a bit of pressure on the All Blacks themselves.
Again, it was the scramble defence that saved the day. Brian O'Driscoll putting the tackle in, dislodging the ball. There's Jimmy Cowan, interesting character, has had a grapple with the bottle, a fight against the booze, but he's come through it well to take his place in the All Black lineup.
Pause, engage! Stay down, yeah? Stay down.
Ireland scrummage, solid enough. Heaslett feeds O'Leary. Well, they've made ground, but they'll lose the put-in.
Yes, New Zealand have been rock solid in the line, and from Ireland's perspective, they've really struggled to get any consistent possession from that phase of play. New Zealand cutting it the first couple of lineouts, and Ireland choosing to put in pretty much a full lineout against New Zealand short.
Nehemiah Tialata is down injured. Ireland want to get on with it, but it'll be a blood replacement, I would think.
Time out.
Nehemiah Tialata. One solid citizen, not standing in, but he's replaced Carl Heyman, who plays his rugby in England with Newcastle now. Here's Mark Lawrence having a little chat with the All Black forwards.
Yes, he seems to be pretty keen, Mark Lawrence, to let the game flow. That's something that the players will have to play the whistle, because certainly so far New Zealand have been playing the whistle.
Ireland keep their forwards in. New Zealand have most of theirs out here beyond Dan Carter. Here's one of them, Brad Thorne. Cowan, Carter, Conrad Smith, Muliaina, Rokothoko outside him. Ireland have turned it over. Excellent work by Smith, and Neil Lamu knocks the ball on.
Yeah, worrying for Ireland. The All Blacks able to get men in numbers out on that short side and really stretch this Irish defence. That's a danger man, Conrad Smith, as a contrast to the more direct man, Nonu in the centre, a real playmaker.
They call him Snake for the way he goes through gaps, unlike Nonu, who is slightly more direct.
Hold it, guys. Scrum off, screen, thank you. Come in now, I want the gap close, it's fine. No, gentlemen. Here's your mark.
I like the start by young Luke Fitzgerald, though. He's shade to the Snake himself there. It was a lovely break early on that just had precious little possession so far. Ireland really need to shore it up from here if they can.
Ireland under pressure on the engagement. Big John Hayes, it's rare that he's not the heaviest man on the pitch, but I think Tialata might match him.
Touch, pause, engage. Stay down, yeah, stay down. Full on.
Cowan against O'Leary, no, playing the man without the ball.
Without the ball, number 9.
Yeah, well, that's very impulsive by Carl. No need for that. He can't justify that at all.
and twice. So Ireland move into New Zealand territory with the line out. The Munster men, O'Leary and O'Gara, check the call.
Well, they've lost a couple so far because New Zealand have been able to get Ali Williams in the air and one overthrow from Best. Now, both things need to work in combination. Perfect throw, and they need to get either O'Callaghan or O'Connell away from the New Zealand jumpers.
A lot of movement on the Irish side. It comes back somehow. O'Leary! Good awareness by the scrum half off bouncing ball. Out it comes for O'Gara. O'Driscoll takes on Nonu. Fitzgerald. Carney. Tackled by Carter and by Mialamu. Well presented though. Quinlan. Oh, John Hayes. After the dart of O'Leary, momentum lost, and that's a clever kick by O'Leary.
Well, the momentum of that has all started with a Cairn penalty. It wasn't great ball from the line-out, but Ireland have managed for the first time to put a little bit of pressure on New Zealand. Now, they need to get O'Connell and O'Callaghan in the air against New Zealand and really pressurise this line-out. That was very well placed.
Well, so far for New Zealand, all ball has been thrown towards Ali Williams. Brad Vaughan is the more solid customer. He's more difficult to get up into the air. Ireland might just target Williams. This time they go with Rodney So'oialo. That's the option they had. Cowan's kick, not much ground. O'Leary waits. Well taken by the scrum half again. Good start to this test by Tomás O'Leary. Paul O'Connell, an unlikely scrum half. Quinlan outside him. Quinlan has to just duck his head and go in, but then the support players go straight to ground.
No, I just can't afford to do that, and whether that's interpretation from Mark Lawrence that John Hayes is not familiar with, if we can get another look at that, but that's key. Ireland can't afford to do that. They've worked so hard to get themselves into that position.
John Hayes, the man penalised. No score yet. One penalty chance missed by New Zealand. Ireland haven't been in striking range. This time Quinlan gets through on Cowan, and Cowan, another twitchy little piece of work by him. O'Driscoll keeping New Zealand pinned back. That's where Croke Park wants to see the men in green.
Well, you just sense that with this young, confident backline around him, with Tommy Bowe, Luke Fitzgerald, Rob Carney, that this is maybe going to rejuvenate Brian O'Driscoll, and that's more like it from him, showing all of the skills.
Ireland will be cheered by the last line out, and New Zealand take their time. They know the importance of this. Only 10 metres from their own line. Mialamu. So'oialo comes to the front and does well again. Cowan. Carney.
Come on, Green!
The Irish forwards will have to retreat fast. Ball bounces. Now it's a free shot. Donnacha O'Callaghan grabs the ball, makes yards.
Side 3, Green. Keep it on the ball.
Well, it pops up to O'Leary again. The inside pass. Oh, the big hit by Jerome Kaino. Oh dear.
All right, leave it Green, leave it now, Green.
And it's turnover ball. The naked aggression of that tackle. And now there's a chance. McCaw knows there's an overlap. Muliaina. Oh, that's a wonderful tackle by Ronan O'Gara. The covering tackle by the out half. Ma Nonu. Carter for Rocco Thocco. Thocco. Joe gets a ball to David Wallace. What skills by the open side flanker. Tries to get the offload in. Doesn't work. Sowialo. One turnover leads to another. Sowialo will chase his own kick. And Carney will hope that that goes into touch. It does. So play swinging back and forth. It's opening up.
Oh, well, I don't know if we're going to see that again, but Ireland very, very nearly cutting New Zealand apart. Such pace and strength on the ball from David Wallace. He just needed, I don't think Tommy Bowe really believed he was going to get that pass. He certainly didn't throw two committed hands at it.
So it's in the 5.
And the chance goes.
Secure ball for Ireland at the line-out. They work their way just out of their 22. New Zealand will have the throw.
Yes, well, so far, story of the half is New Zealand rock solid in the set pieces, particularly in the line-out where they've made it very difficult for Ireland to compete even on their own ball. In the contact zone, they've been very, very dynamic as well. Ireland have probably pulled themselves out of the fire on a couple of occasions with turnovers, but most of the pressure on Ireland so far.
Not straight. What would you like?
Not straight. The long throw from Mialamu towards the tail.
Scrum. Yep.
Ireland will have the put in 15 metres infield.
Shoelace.
Stoppage. Well, somebody does their boot up. Well, Philip, it's hairy, scary stuff. It's perhaps strange after the first quarter to see no score.
No score and no real pattern to the game either. To be honest, it hasn't settled down after the first 20 minutes. You sense that what New Zealand are trying to do, particularly at line-out time, is just take a little bit of the adrenaline and the pace out of this game, slow things down, particularly when they're in defensive positions, which has been all too rare so far. Ireland probably want to get a bit more pace into this game, but they need possession, and they've got to get the line-out sorted out, because it's quite clear that New Zealand have really done a lot of work on their set pieces.
Here's David Wallace.
See what you can do. That's all right, second.
Yes, he just probably look back on that and think maybe I should have held on to. Bowe really had taken his eyes off that ball when he'd gone past. Didn't think he was going to get the pass. It was a bit of an afterthought from Wallace, but however, New Zealand can be cut open. Ireland do have the pace and they do have the runners to get beyond the gain line. They just need possession.
Straight with the hips. Switch on a bit closer with the gaps. Thank you. That's brilliant.
First, though, they have to
Touch. Pause.
get
Engage.
further upfield than the
Yeah.
22. New Zealand do love to spin a scrum. Whether it involves a little bit of pulling on the far side. Mark Lawrence has positioned himself on... No, he's gone back to the other side now.
Get the bind through there, please, Black. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Very crafty New Zealand. Not much binding going on in that front row there.
Advantage off 7.
O'Leary gets some sort of pass away. Advantage is being played.
Number 7 off early.
Richie McCaw breaking early. O'Leary.
Backwards. Play on. Play on.
Oh, it's all gone terribly scrappy for Ireland. They had 3 or 4 chances to sort the ball out then, but Dan Carter comes away with it. Carter loses it. Ball goes clear. Tommy Bowe sorts it out. Numbers for Ireland. O'Gara goes on his own. Cowan shrugs him off. Sivivatu.
Right away there, Green, hands off!
Go as far as to say that this has become an extremely loose game, which presumably suits New Zealand. Carter thought he spotted a mismatch against tight forwards. Here is Richie McCaw, the captain. He can't get through. Ireland were given the warning, roll away. They didn't. Penalty New Zealand, and perhaps
Relax.
the no-score situation is about to alter.
Well, Jamie Heaslip was given the warning, and he just lay there. has given Carter a much easier 3-point opportunity. Yes, it's very, very scrappy, and so far Ireland just lack the composure on the ball that maybe New Zealand have just shaded them on. They're firing quick passes out. Really need to just be a little bit calmer on the ball, take a little bit more time to make the right decision, but yet maintain that intensity as well. Composure and intensity, a difficult combination sometimes.
Well. From in front of the posts, Dan Carter misses.
Well, he's pulled that one to left, and we've come to see this a little bit over the last couple of years from Carter. Nowhere near as metronomic or as consistent as he was in the early part of his career, and that will give Ireland hope, because I don't see Ronan O'Gara passing up opportunities like that.
O'Gara yet to have a shot at goal, and again the restart works well for Ireland, and Wallace again does well, picks up bouncing ball, and there he is presenting it for O'Leary. O'Gara to Muliaina with Rokovoko screaming up outside him. Rory Best made the tackle on the All Blacks' dangerous fullback. Here's Rokovoko to Sivivatu with the strength to get out of the tackles. Good tackle, Ronan O'Gara. McCaw there in support. Scrappy for New Zealand, but they came through off their feet. And it is Paul O'Connell penalised this time.
Not from the side. Have a word with him.
Well, Martin Lawrenson is saying come in okay, but not in from the side.
Not through the gate. No, it's not through the gate. Not from the side. Through the gate.
Needs to come in through the gate and not from the side. And again, Ireland in possession, but there's that lack of composure. Ronan O'Gara's kick was to nowhere. It gave New Zealand back the ball, and from the counter, we have another 3-point opportunity. Surely Carter won't miss this one.
Nothing from 2 for Dan Carter. This is easier than the last kick, which wasn't at all difficult. Points at last for Dan Carter. The duck is broken. New Zealand lead by 3 points to 0. 3-0, Ireland trail. Keith Wood.
Hi Eddie, Ireland are just putting themselves under huge pressure. They're soaking up an awful amount, but O'Gara doesn't seem to be able to kick us out of any pressure, and only for Carter missing the first 2, I think we'd been a big bit of trouble.
Mialamu.
Right, Rock.
Cowan to Carter, booms it long, straight downfield. Rob Kearney.
Come on, Green.
Heaslett leads the chase. Sivivatu.
Yeah, Green.
Good catch, safe mark. Carter.
Charged
Charged down by Paul O'Connell. Brad Thorne, the second row, goes back. O'Connell chases him. Good work, Paul O'Connell. Pressure on New Zealand now. New Zealand, if they had a chance to see numbers, they thought safety first from Muliaina, so Ireland remain in an attacking position. And we'll have a little break for an injury. Paul O'Connell, who led the charge down. Here's Carter.
Well, that was a charge down by O'Connell. Lawrenson, referee Martin Lawrenson, shouting to everybody that he was onside. It was okay, and I think everybody was kind of hoping to see Brad Thorne making an attempted kick to touch, but he thought better of it. And Ireland have a rare lineup. They cut it to 4 men just on the All Black 22.
Here it comes.
And Paul O'Connell's fit to join the line-out now, making it 5 against New Zealand's 5.
Rory Best takes his time. O'Connell, blood coming from his nose. O'Leary double checks the call with Rory Best. A lot of movement again in the Irish line-out. O'Connell wins it cleanly though. O'Driscoll takes a great offload to Wallace. Interception by the All Blacks. Soialo, so aggressive at the ruck. Here's Muliaina. No, sorry, Manonu. So again, Ireland unable to keep hold of the ball, and in from the side again against Alan Quinlan.
Relax. It's not behind the last position. Right, not behind the last feet, and therefore he cannot play the ball. That's all it is. It's offside. All right.
Okay, so Alan Quinlan, he's not. I think that's harsh. I think that's harsh, I have to say. And I think there's been a couple of little incidents with Mark Lawrence's interpretation of the breakdown area, particularly,
Get the discipline going there, guys.
that maybe
Make sure
Ireland are
it's
falling
right.
foul of. They just need to play the referee, though, if that's his interpretation. I need to learn that, and Alan Quinlan in particular, because he does love to play just on the edge of, or beyond, if he can, illegality.
Here we go. Mialamu throwing to a shortened All Black line. Ireland have to start getting people out here when Richie McCaw is in possession. It's gone loose again. Ireland can play it. Tialata tried to steal the ball back for the All Blacks, but it's come Ireland's way. It was McCaw who lost it. O'Driscoll behind Sivivatu. Well played, Sivivatu, because that could have been dangerous. Muliaina, again the long kick straight downfield. O'Gara.
Come on, Green, hold!
Sivivatu again. Plenty of time. Opts for touch this time.
Yes, well, All back three can kick to touch with confidence, because New Zealand have been very, very competitive at line-out time. You can see O'Gara more reticent to put it into touch, and it's paid off because now Ireland have a line-out. Slight improvement in cutting it, but they've got a full line-out this time.
Alan Quinlan won the ball.
All the way back.
Marcus Horan takes on Dan Carter. Mialamu comes in and Carter comes away with the strength of Carter, and to get the offload out. Oh, Mialamu, there were numbers outside him, but there's the strength of the New Zealand hooker. Shrugs off one tackle. Cowan, Tialata.
Right, leave it Green. 5 off your feet.
Cowan, Carter, the little dink. Bounces, Carney covered it well. Sivivatu racing up with a tackle. New Zealand will have the put in at the scrum, and you could just sense the turn on when New Zealand have a chance here. They're tearing up here.
Well, that was high, and again, Mark Lawrence, and he's been a little bit loose with some of his calls, or lack of calls, I have to say. He's wanted to keep the game flowing, but I think it's clear that the crowd have had a different interpretation sometimes to him.
The referee might be having some assistance from... Well, it was high.
Well, it could be that he just didn't see it.
Quibus Vessels, the touch judge.
They're going to be kept down, doesn't matter where they end. Right.
Irish justice is done. Well, that's a good call, and under the new laws, that touch judges at the referee's discretion can get involved and make those calls. I'll have to say, I agree with that. I think that was a good call.
Slipped up, it's fine. Contact was good, it must stay down.
O'Gara. Oh,
He doesn't seem happy at all with his kicking game, does he? I don't know whether that first charge down has unsettled him, but he just seems as though he's rushing things. That's the second one he's put off the side of his boot. Not like him at all.
interesting how much kicking Brian O'Driscoll has done in midfield. Maybe O'Gara just generally out of sorts, maybe carrying a bump. Donnacha O'Callaghan. Risky throw, it's claimed by New Zealand again. The Irish line-out not functioning. Ali Williams. This is what they love to do, they run the big men against O'Gara, but it's turnover again. Ireland has stolen it off Ali Williams, so maybe that'll cheer O'Gara up. Here he goes. Good distance, Sivivatu had it read. Rokothoko, not the finest kick of his career. Rob Kearney back covering, makes the mark, immediately taken. That's a very sweet left boot. Sivivatu, that didn't go forward. Oh, it did go forward, again. Touch judge, Corbus Vessels coming to Mark Lawrence's aid.
Well, I have to say, I think that did go forward, at least went sideways. It certainly took a roll forward. That's a huge boot by Kearney. No, what can Ireland get from this? They really need to get something out of this.
Tialata against Marcus Horan, Kevin Mialamu against Rory Best, and Tony Woodcock wearing one for the All Blacks against John Hayes. That's okay for Ireland. Heaslip puts it over on the right-hand side. O'Gara, Tommy Bowe in from the right wing. Carter had to make the tackle. O'Driscoll tries to go under the tackles. Ireland still in possession, and this time a crossing. Oh, it's very congested in there.
In the channel, it's crossing.
Oh, well, they were at 6s and 7s, like they didn't really know what either one was going to do there. This is from the second phase. O'Leary fires out that ball. It's O'Gara that takes it on, and that really wasn't what was intended. I think O'Leary was going for O'Driscoll, but the pass went to O'Gara, and that was the problem. Need to be a lot more accurate, Ireland, on the ball. It's just they're letting themselves down when they're getting themselves into positions.
It's a scrappy old loose game, and that's because it's not just Ireland making a lot of mistakes. The All Blacks, they're not controlling the ball impeccably at the breakdown either. Donnacha O'Callaghan goes high, and this time it's Ireland who steal All Black ball. Turnover ball, forwards take it on first. O'Leary stretches in for it. O'Gara. Now, was Kearney offside? O'Connell goes up. Kearney gets hands to it. O'Gara puts the kick in. Here comes Tommy Bowe. Sivivatu goes back too far.
Well, the idea was good, put it in behind New Zealand. Now, what's this going on off the ball with Ali Williams?
Luke Fitzgerald and Ali Williams.
And Ali Williams has had the ball stripped off him twice already this game. Maybe he's a little bit narky, but he is very upright going into contact, which is not typical for New Zealand. They're normally technically so good bringing the ball into contact.
Carter with a 22 dropout. Gervin Dempsey waits. Oh, that's a big hit by Ali Williams.
Way back!
Penalty. Tony Woodcock has to be careful because that's after the whistle's gone, which sort of compounds the error.
The penalty will stand for Black
Woodcock
going
and Alan
over.
Quinlan needs to be careful as well. Now, if that's been seen, because it's not really near the ball,
The penalty.
it's not really achieving an awful lot.
Where is he? Captain? The penalty will stand for going over.
Yes.
You are still responsible for discipline in your team.
That's fine.
Are you going to do it or am
I'll
I?
have a word to them
Thank
here.
you. All right, penalty stands. Falling over.
Alan Quinlan, slightly lucky there.
Well, he was very lucky because he's drawn a little bit too much attention to himself already, albeit for different offences. But again, at the breakdown, that's why he's in the side, to be honest, is to compete at the breakdown, but...
And get away with it.
Yes, exactly. But he's just living on the edge at the moment.
Which is right bang in front of the ref as well, so Ialo didn't like it, Woodcock didn't like it, referee, he didn't mind it.
Didn't mind it, did it? We were saying earlier he's been a little bit loose, Martin Lawrence, and he's definitely got his own interpretation of what he likes and what he doesn't. He knows he doesn't mind a little bit of the shoe every now and then.
Ronan O'Gara's first kick at goal. It's a long-range effort. Ireland haven't been close to the New Zealand goal line on many occasions, but this would bring the scores level. Beautifully struck by Ronan O'Gara. Reward from the breakdown situation. It's all square at Croke Park.
Oh, that was a super strike. He had to keep that low to get the distance. What a strike. The comparison to Carter's, that'll do the world of confidence for him, because he needs that. He's not been as composed as he normally is with his ball out of hand anyway. Yeah, you can see he's pleased with that one.
That's better. 3-3. It's not ideal on either side. This one for McCaw to chase. Up he goes.
Straight up.
Well taken by Donnacha O'Callaghan with support from Alan Quinlan. O'Leary, O'Gara, very deliberately put towards Sivivatu. Everything kicked by Alan has gone Sivivatu's way. Oh, great offload. Except it went to nobody. Nehemiah Tialada picked up the scraps. Jimmy Cowan. Slightly laboured. Now they have numbers if Suwali recognised it. Rocco Thocco, Conrad Smith outside him. Wallace tracked him back. Well played, David Wallace.
Yes, he read that one very well. Well, Gogoka could have sold him the dummy, but he followed him to the touchline. Then also Carney read that one well as well, because he saw what Wallace was going to do, so he hung back inside for the inside pass. Good defence again from Ireland.
Well, as long as Ireland see New Zealand far from their clinical, efficient, ruthless selves, their confidence will grow. Ronan O'Gara has come into things in the last few minutes, a smile back on his face. Again, it's scrappy old line-out ball. Nobody really got above the ground there. Ryan O'Driscoll with the kick. Now, was that forward? No touch judge was really up there to see if it was. We're going on the crowd's assessment. Quinlan, O'Gara, the stab forward towards Sivivatu. How much ball has the left wing had to deal with? He's dealt with it okay so far. Carney with the safe catch. There's McCaw going way beyond the ball. Ireland, though, have won it safely enough. Paul O'Connell to O'Gara. Now, that's not bad. That's found a lot of space there. It's Dan Carter back for the All Blacks. Carter had to kick. He was on his own. Brian O'Driscoll. Play on. The dive by the Irish captain, says Mark Lawrence. Sivivatu, he's against forwards now. That's the dangerous running action of Sivivatu. Now then, danger. Nonu, Carter, Bradford. Numbers for the All Blacks, so Ialo. And again, it's not well executed, the final pass. Sitivenu Sivivatu set it all up, but...
Lost it!
Carter. Muliaina. Carter again. Nonu, a surge forward. McCaw, Ireland got back there. Was that deliberately put out by Tommy Bowe?
Relax, a timeout.
Well, that's the kick through. Yeah, well, if Mark Lawrence wants to give that for deliberate, put it out, he could certainly give it.
Penalty try, or was Bowe back there?
According to slapped it over. It was touching goal. Should we check if there's not a penalty try in there? Jan Muverson.
There is a case for a
What we
penalty
have over
try here.
A report of Green knocking the ball over the line. It's a penalty. I want to know if the action prevented a possible black player from scoring a try, in which case it'll be a penalty try. Penalty or penalty try, I need to know. Thank you.
Well, his direction to me there's not particularly clear, because it seems like he's asking the TMO for a judgment decision rather than. And what the TMO's been asked to decide is, would that have been a try if Tommy Bowe hadn't deliberately knocked the ball out? Now, that's all going to depend on whether he touched the ball in the in-goal area or whether
half-time, gents.
he touched the ball before it got over the try line. And I think it's before it got over the try line.
Marnonu's little kick. Now Bowe is back there. That reveals nothing.
Mark, you on?
But
Yes, you're on.
The ball was deliberately knocked into touch in goal,
Yes.
therefore preventing a try being scored.
Preventing a try being scored. What was the number?
it's
The
going to be
number
a
of the
penalty
player
try
guilty of the cynical.
Number 14, Green.
Number 14, Green.
and a
All
yellow.
right, thank you. Number 14, Green.
Well, I disagree with that, because I think
Where's
that's
number
inconclusive.
14?
There was no angle
Number 14.
that you could be certain of that.
That's a cynical infringement. Preventing a try from being scored. It's a yellow card and penalty try.
There was no angle that you could definitively say that that ball was in goal when Tommy Bowe touched it.
Thank you.
That's a big call.
Penalty try awarded by Mark Lawrence. Tommy Bowe preventing the try from being scored by conceding.
Would have been scored. The penalty against your team is the yellow card for the infringement. The penalty try is not for the infringement, it's for the try that would have been scored. That's it.
There we have it. Mark Lawrence explaining it to Brian O'Driscoll.
Yep.
Dan Carter adds the 2 points. And half-time comes. So, actually it's not a controversial end to the half. New Zealand awarded the penalty try, and they lead here at Croke Park by 10 points to 3. Thank you, John. All your hard work about keeping the secret of what happened at Twickenham this afternoon. I found myself very nearly referring to it all through the first half, but I'll do my best.
Captain Green.
Ronan O'Gara to start the second half. It stood at 3-3, and then New Zealand pounced for the penalty try. Ireland trail by 3. But there's a whole lot to come here. If only Ireland can hang on to this ball. For the moment, it's the All Blacks. Carter for Joe Rokothoko. Beautifully taken by the winger, winning his 50th cap today. There's McCall adding his support immediately. Immediate danger from New Zealand at the start of the second half. Tialata out there, and again, sort of imprecision by New Zealand, and rather tamely, Tony Woodcock is bundled into touch. So there was danger, and then there wasn't.
Yeah, you can be sure that the All Blacks are going to make the most of Tommy Bowe being off the pitch, and an early sign of it from Carter there with a wide kick. They're really going to want to get a purple patch in here and try and get a little bit more daylight between themselves and Ireland. Well, Ireland are down to 14, but so far Ireland have snuffed that out, and they're going to need to ride themselves through this next 8-minute period.
That's okay. Line out ball safely secured. O'Driscoll cuts back, makes a yard or two. Oh, surely McCall, that's oh no, Thomas O'Leary ran straight into his own player. Referee lets it go. It's a slightly scrappy, frenzied start by Ireland. They want to up the tempo, but control is so important. O'Gara. Luke Fitzgerald, son of former international prop Des Fitzgerald. O'Driscoll. O'Callaghan takes on Woodcock.
Leave it. Away back. You both keep going, that's fine.
Just to confirm, Ireland down to 14 players for the moment, or for a few moments. Tommy Bowe, yellow carded in the challenge for which the penalty try was awarded.
Relax. We have a flag. Time out.
We have a touch judge's flag.
Yes, come.
So this will be interesting. Again, it's Corpus Vessels on the far side.
Yeah, it's just as well as a flag. Well, Ireland were about to turn that over.
Yep. Yeah. Black one stood up and punched him in the face. Black one punched in the face. Your recommendation? Yellow card? No. Well,
14 all.
so he was being held on to.
The green player was holding on to his foot, let it go. Black one stood up and punched him in the face. Punched the green to the face.
And you happy with the yellow card for that, not a red card?
Yellow card's
Number one. Number one black, and captain.
Number 1 black is Tony Woodcock.
Touch judge report. There was a player hanging on to you, but you do not have the right to punch him. And he's reported a punch, you're in a yellow card. Penalty over there. Yeah, but you can't take the law into your hands. You
Tony
get a
Woodcock
penalty.
goes off for
Okay?
10 minutes.
But you got an adjustment.
We are
No,
14 all,
penalty stays
and
with
Philip
you.
Matthews,
No retaliation.
he could have been off for good.
Well, it could have been, and Martin Lawrence, he's thrown a few little surprises in here tonight, hasn't he? Because when he was questioning his touch judge whether he was happy with the yellow card, I thought maybe he thought the touch judge was being a bit too extreme and overreacting, but no. He was questioning whether it was harsh enough. So, the sides are 14 all. Well, that balances things up a little bit.
It certainly does, and Ronan O'Gara is just balancing up the distance, and I think he's going to go for it. That's the halfway line. It's going to be the full 50 plus 1 or 2 more.
Well, this is a little bit longer than his effort in the first half. There's no real breeze here. It's a flat cam night, so he strikes this one perfectly. He's certainly got the legs for it. He needs to hit it spot on, though.
Extraordinary weather here in Dublin.
That's it, thank you.
We bounced in our little plane last night. We came through a little bit of turbulence into Dublin Airport, but today there's absolutely no wind. It's been glorious. He boomed over a monster in the first half. This is even longer. Just a bit too long. 10-3. Still, Ireland will be cheered by the lead up to that kick. Tony Woodcock into the bin. A little yellow mark underneath their name shows that they have a player out of action for 10 minutes. Carter sends it long. Here's O'Gara again. Mills Muliaina starts the counter-attack. Paul O'Connell manages to scrag him down. Carter, and it worked for Carter. An electrifying pace. There's the offload, Jimmy Cowan. Try time, surely it's Ali Williams. Has he got the pace? No, cuts inside. Has the strength and a length to stretch it, and now must be a try, surely.
I see it as held up.
Ooh.
We will check it. Yes.
Another surprise from Mark Lawrence.
We will check. Unless you agree. Do you want me to check it? Take a timeout. I don't see the grounding, but just check it for me, Johan, please. To me, it's held up, unless you can tell me otherwise. I think it's held up.
Gave me the pass. I know you're not up with play. That's
Okay.
a big meter forward.
Sorry, man. Forgive me for
Going
what?
to TMO, Johan Merverson.
Well, it looks like Rob Kearney's leg just gets in between the ball and grounding. Oh, it's difficult to say from there, but likewise, it's
No,
not
it's
conclusive that it would have been a try.
Yeah, so I'm just checking it. You're on the team.
No, I don't think Johan Musen can give that unless this angle offers something different. No. No, one thing Ireland did well there was get.
There's no evidence that that ball
Ball
has
was
been
grounded.
grounded.
Thank you.
Yes, Ireland got a lot of men over the ball, so that is very difficult for a clear view of that, even
Yes,
if they
we'll
did
bring on a
get
sub
down.
for
So
the yellow card.
it's going to be a scrum 5 to New Zealand.
New Zealand will have the person at the scrum. They have to make a change because prop Tony Woodcock is off, so I think it's Jerome Kaino is going off and prop John Afoa comes on. Well, it seemed harder then, Philip, not to score.
Absolutely. Williams did so well to get as far as he did, but I'm just wondering here, I think of the two sides, probably Ireland more disadvantaged by being down a man than New Zealand. New Zealand's performance so far up front has been so solid, particularly in the set piece. I think they'll be able to carry one man less better than Ireland will, and missing Tommy Bowe.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Well, it's
Commit to that hit, Green.
big
Keep the weight
drive
on.
from New Zealand on the
Leave
set.
the touch, Judge.
Ireland have got
Keep
Just-
the weight on, please.
7 forwards in.
Crouch.
The New Zealand of Man Nonu here on the blind side. You can just see him pack it down there, number 12.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. It's a shocking.
Oh, Mark Lawrence, he's
Shocking. He's not even near the top.
shocking, he says. Oh my word, here goes Paul O'Connell taking the quick tap. It was only a free kick, so no advantage to be gained, and Tomas O'Leary gets the ball away.
No, you're not going to.
It's very harem-scarum down there. People are taking all sorts of risks, and the referee is sort of playing a high-risk game of his own.
Well, he is. Well, Jimmy Cowan just threw that virtually into his own back row. I think Mark Lawrence was offended by that. I mean, you can get away with it once it's reasonably straight, but he just couldn't ignore that one.
Step. Green, please. Green. Step. Come black.
Here we go. This is what Woodcock may have been sent up there. Oh,
No, he was lucky that wasn't a red card because there was little or no provocation there. A little bit of foot holding, not a big deal.
All right, roll away, Green. Leave it, Green.
it's the oh dear, yeah, lucky.
Well, particularly as it wasn't to his face either. It was a bit of a cheap shot as Best was looking away from him.
Now then, Richie McCaw in midfield. McCaw held, going backwards, does get the ball away to Conrad Smith, but
All right, Ruck, leave it, Green.
it's not the surging All Black momentum yet. Nonu, he does give it direction, and then Rocco Thocco, Nonu, so much better. This will be a try for the All Blacks. They were going sideways and backwards, and suddenly they surged forward, and it was Nonu who created it and finished it.
Well, that is the danger with this New Zealand side, that even going on the back foot and going backwards. And look at Paul O'Connell, he's in trouble there with an ankle. He wasn't able to get anywhere near Nonu, or even Nonu just cantered around him, and that really is what opened it up for New Zealand, and they weren't going to pass up that opportunity. Now, this is something we all hoped wouldn't happen because Declan Kidney hasn't picked a second row on the bench. And if Paul O'Connell can't finish the match, then you've got Stephen Ferris coming in as a makeshift second row, and this is pretty early on in the second half.
Cheers, thanks, I'm fine, thanks.
So in the contest of 14 against 14, the All Blacks have leapt ahead now. A second try for them, a second conversion, or a second successful kick for Dan Carter. 17 points to 3, New Zealand lead.
Yeah, you can see him limping there. You cannot carry an injury like that playing against New Zealand because you can't defend properly. You become a real liability, and if that doesn't run out for Paul O'Connell, it could be off pretty soon.
Well, he's not chasing this kick with any assurance.
All right, stay on the feet now. Holding feet.
Carter keeps it in field. Gervin Dempsey.
Yes.
Rob Kearney back with him. Dempsey looks up, sizes up what's available, puts it up towards Muliaina, who was he challenged in the air. Well taken, Muliaina. Soialo
Rolling away.
right on his shoulder. Carter again.
It was a very unconvincing kick, wasn't it? It wasn't great contact. I don't think that's what Carter had in mind.
Now then, Luke Fitzgerald tried to take it quickly. Joe Roccafoco was standing there, and the referee was 30 yards away having a word with somebody else. It'll be Jonathan Kaplan, the touch judge, who must help him.
He's made to throw the ball. He hasn't tried to get out. He's had lots of time to get out.
14, thank you. Free kick for preventing the throw.
Joe Roccafoco penalised for preventing the throw. Jamie Heaslip.
Stay up.
Ireland need to get themselves back into this game soon enough. O'Driscoll darts back, manages to get
Right, leave it back.
the offload in.
Back, it's back, it's fine, it's fine.
Again, it's scrappy control
Right,
of
leave
the
it down
ball at the
back.
breakdown. Richie McCaw wrapping his arms around the ball carrier and a bit of the ball. So good at slowing the ball up. O'Gara takes on Carter, beats him.
Fine.
This is better by Ireland.
Right back.
Suddenly there on the move. McCaw has to get away from there. This time, Luke Fitzgerald on the burst, 1-4. Rob Carney to chase, not fast enough to get there. The touchline swallows up the ball, but Ireland, that's certainly their best ploy of the second half.
Yes, you'd love to see Luke Fitzgerald getting the ball a little bit more often in these positions. He's so quick with his feet to step inside. He's great strength and power.
Preventing the throw.
That could have just rolled and kept in for Carney, but it didn't.
Meanwhile, Ireland have given away an identical free kick for preventing the quick throw. Strange old game, this. Carney watches it go out. It was only a free kick. Ireland take the quick one, and it makes life difficult for Gervin Dempsey. Irish player goes down. Play on, says
Holding
Mark
back.
Lawrence. This is Ronan O'Gara back. I have to say, Philip, this is a strangely disjointed game.
Isn't it? I don't think either side or individuals on either side look totally confident or totally composed. There's an awful lot of errors, a lot of silly mistakes, and you have to say, a lot of indiscipline in the game as well. The fact that the All Blacks are on edge is maybe a compliment in terms of the respect that they must have and the build-up for this game. Maybe there is a Croke Park factor after all.
Donnchadh O'Callaghan
Away there, Black.
wins the line-out.
Last feet.
O'Leary's going to kick this. Has to be careful. The charge was on, and it's not a bad kick at all. That's well cleared up by Big John Afoa. All Blacks in possession now. Ma Nonu, Conrad Smith, Mills Muliaina. The strength of Muliaina. Luke Fitzgerald just managed to get a bit of shirt there. O'Driscoll needs to be careful, he's on the ground. And the All Blacks are coming through. Sidivenis Vivatu. Brad Thorne for the line. Second row with the strength to go over. The All Blacks' third try. And it's all going wrong for Ireland.
Yeah, we did sense when Nona went over that maybe this game was over as a spectacle, because it was maybe just a step too far for Ireland to claw themselves back. They've not really established any pattern or any form or any composure during the game. And now that try from Thorne has effectively closed the gate. It's early enough in the second half, only 53 minutes gone in the game, but now New Zealand are in control. They're certainly in control of the scoreboard.
Brad Thorne played rugby league, went to Union, went back to league, now back to Union.
Yeah, very tall for a league player. Height not really required in that game, but showing all his power and athleticism in the contact from the league coat.
Carter misses, just the 5 points, but the game has really run away from Ireland in the second half. They started one man down, Tommy Bohoff. He is now back. New Zealand have a player off the field, Tony Woodcock, but they have seized the game, seized the initiative, and they've run in 2 tries. And here's Thorne underneath the ball, doesn't claim it well at all. Tony Woodcock now is back on the field. Knock on by New Zealand, receiving that kickoff. Woodcock is back on. Jonafoa stays on, which means that Tialata is off.
Come square, come in the middle, please. Crouch, touch, pause, engage.
The drift for Fitzgerald so nearly worked, but again, it's New Zealand who come away with the ball. That goes straight out.
Sorry.
Close for Ireland, but again, just spilling the ball, giving it back to New Zealand.
Yes, just about everything that New Zealand do, and the tackles, they make them count. That ball just knocked out of, after Fitzgerald making that initial break, he gets out Smith, but Sivivatu in his tackle knocks that ball out. He just had to readjust from Conrad Smith's attempted tackle, and that gave Sivivatu enough time to hit the ball.
Engage. Stay on. Slow that down. Same ball. Yes.
Scrum has to reset.
So we'll come this way. I want you to keep square and straight. Don't come round. You keep your wind up. Yeah, you just go straight.
No, errors on both sides. 9 errors each.
Straight.
Turnovers, not surprisingly,
Gentlemen, I want you hitting up, please.
led slightly by New Zealand.
Crouch, touch, pause, engage. Stay.
Carney gathers, Dempsey helps him, Dempsey for himself. Jimmy Cowan read it well. Mills Mulaina. Brian O'Driscoll goes in, trying to strip the ball.
Leave it on the ground.
That's good work by O'Driscoll. He was the one who dislodged the ball there.
Well, he made the most of a bad situation there, because Dempsey's kick really was to nothing.
Paul O'Connell running on something like 60%, it looks. He's limping around. Heaslip.
All right, leave it now. Stay up. Green 15, no influence, stay up.
O'Callaghan.
All right, roll back.
O'Gara. Carney standing still a bit. O'Driscoll for himself. Works well for Brian O'Driscoll. Gets the ball. Brilliant work by the Irish captain. 50 times captain of his island. Surely a chance now. Marcus Horan. A props pass into the crowd. And really, Marcus Horan, although he is a prop, would have expected better than that. He's got great hands, normally.
Well, he didn't need to go for the big pass either. Simple put it through the hands, and I think that's what Alan Quinlan's telling him as well. Brian O'Driscoll, lovely little individual moment, good chasing up, that was well supported by Tommy Bowe to secure that. No, that's the pass. No, all he needs to do is put that through the hands to David Wallace, not to Alan Quinlan, who looks away in disgust.
Let's go.
Jerry Flannery comes on for Ireland instead of Rory Best.
It's kind of typified the game from Ireland, really. The simple stuff under composure is just, they're not able to do it tonight for whatever reason. He's a bit over anxious at times.
Wait. Time on. Leave him in there.
Jimmy Cowan. Gervin Dempsey waits. Dempsey, hopefully for him, had a foot in touch. He did, so it will be an Irish throw.
Play on.
Quickly taken by Ireland. Luke Fitzgerald, again the pass goes wild, and here's Conrad Smith. Mr. Common Sense in the All Black side, puts it exactly where Ireland don't want it. Rob Kearney watches it go out of play.
Now we've seen an awful lot of that tonight. It's like that pass from Fitzgerald without really thinking and looking to see if it's on and just taking the time to make sure it is. It's
not chase.
just a knee-jerk pass without making sure.
Flannery
Back.
clears up the rebound from Paul O'Connell.
Last feet green. Gentlemen, they last feet, yeah. 7. No influence. Last feet, gents. No influence there, but come on, last feet.
New Zealand are going to bring on
Last feet, pull back. No influence, last feet there.
a new scrum half by the look of it. Here's Tomas O'Leary. Jimmy Cowan trudges to the touchline. Piri Wipu comes on at scrum half for New Zealand.
Well, Piri Wipu, a lot more robust and rambunctious, a lot more direct, and you can expect him to try and play to his back row.
Thank you, that's okay.
And really take on this tired Irish forward unit already.
Kevin Mealamu, Ali Williams goes back, wins it cleanly. Carter, Conrad Smith, Mills Muliaina, Sitiveni Sidivatu.
Backwards, play on.
Wipu again. They've stretched it all the way across once, and they're going to stretch it all the way back this way, and Nonu puts in the little kick. Kearney gets a boot to it. Tomas O'Leary clears.
Hang on, yes.
Mills Muliaina. Carter back to Muliaina. Knock on by the fullback. I can't believe Mark Lawrence didn't see it.
Yeah, I think he knows he missed a major one there.
Thanks, Johnny.
This is Carter. There's really little on Muliaina, making a very uncharacteristic error there. But apparently Mark Lawrence didn't see it.
What's happening? I'm doing a sub or what? Time out. Time out, guys.
That was the little chip by Ma Nonu that led to the penalty try at the end of the first half. Ireland have to take off Paul O'Connell. Stephen Ferris comes on and will go up into the second row, which isn't really his position.
Time on.
Shane Jennings and Stephen
Keep the weight
Ferris
on, keep
back
the
row
weight on.
forwards on the bench. Paul
Remember,
O'Connell
close gaps.
goes off. He hasn't been right.
No, you could argue he should have come off earlier on,
Crouch.
because there was
Touch.
certainly a liability for the Nonu try, and you wouldn't want to see that again.
Stay 9, stay 20. Advantage black.
Another knock on.
Oh.
Oh dear, this has been a game of unforced errors.
What it's almost like they feel they've got less time than they really have, and even from such an experienced head as Brian O'Driscoll, balls being snatched at, they really should be taking a little bit more time on the ball. It's the composure, the relaxed focus, attention that they're missing.
Black.
Very
In
anxious.
the middle, please. Thank you. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Good All Black scrum. Rodney Soialo to the very direct Piri Wipu. Soialo is not exactly a shrinking violet himself.
Hands out now, hands.
Wipu again to Carter. Takes on the two props, Hayes and Horan.
Play on.
It comes to Tony Woodcock. Gets nearly past
Right.
Jerry Flannery, who
Hands
sort of
out.
flips him over in the end. Carter. Brad Thorne, the try scorer. Oh, good pass. Ireland rushed up. Wipu delayed the pass. And this time sends it out to Nonu. The strength of Ma Nonu.
Ruck.
Oops, Ali Williams does like to kick it, but that was
All
a dummy
green.
kick.
No.
Ah, good pass. Wipu to Sidivatu. How important, oh no, forward pass, and Sidivatu can't believe it. How clever is Piriwipu?
No, he's made a big impression. His passing has been crisp, direct.
15 black.
You'd have to wonder why he's not in the starting 15.
Sorry,
Because he made
13
a
or
definite
15?
impression since he's come on.
13. Sorry, 15 stay.
Yes, this is
13,
the pass
sorry.
that was adjudged for. And I have to say, there's been a lot of other passes today that would have been easier to call than that one. It denies New Zealand another 7-pointer, thankfully for Ireland.
Well, that was another strange call by Mark Lawrence. Conrad Smith goes off. Isaiah Toiava comes on
I gotta
for
finish. Guys, I'm not gonna bite
Smith.
him. Just look. Just look. Time back on. Hip square. Square. Hold the guy. Sorry, that's still time off. What's wrong, gents? No.
Just
bring
a pause here, and
back on the prop, please. Yes,
Jonathan.
Let's not take any chances.
Yeah, just the couple of tries. You know, the first one is, if we just stop here, just look who's in a defensive line. Best, O'Connell, and then Hayes. It's just so easy for these, backs. They can't even cover. Hayes is caught. O'Connell was injured, and that really was a try that took the game away. And then the second try, there's a dummy runner. He's going to angle in there, and Heaslip just comes in the wrong way. It just a second, look, he holds and comes in, and then gives Thorne the space. He tries to get back there. Too late.
Okay.
2 quick tries, end of match.
Sensible, switch on, driving up, please. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm afraid that's what it means, isn't it? It's an end of match, as Jonathan says. It's Crow Park
Touch,
is
pause,
hushed.
engage. No, he didn't. Okay.
Yes, well, they've done there what Ireland have singularly failed to do all evening, and it's that real width on the ball into the third or fourth phase. As Jiffy says,
Roll that shoulder.
get their midfield backs running at opposition forwards. Because there's no question, you'd love to have seen the likes of O'Driscoll or Fitzgerald
Touch,
running at
pause, engage.
the New Zealand front five, but they just haven't been able to do
Stay
that.
down. Use it. That's gone. Roll back.
Oh, they've delayed it again, and the end result is the ball pops along the floor to
Run
poor
away
old Luke
back.
Fitzgerald,
Holding.
who's left trying to run from his own goal line. O'Gara says enough of that old nonsense, let's clear it, but it's gone to Sivivatu, to Mills Mulaina, to Joe Rokothoko, and he sort of sends it upwards without any conviction. It's, oh, well taken. Is it O'Callaghan?
Maul. It's a maul on his feet, it's fine.
Alan Quinlan, beg his pardon, the
Right, leave it
34-year-old
back.
flanker. Marcus Horan.
On their feet. Right, leave it now, Black.
Well, Mark Lawrence gave them the warning.
Good form. Very close.
Well, that might have been the time to take a quick one, because I'm not sure they're really going to want lineouts with Paul O'Connell off and Stephen Ferris on. It's going to make it a lot easier for New Zealand to defend, but I suppose once it wasn't taken immediately, this is the only option now.
Who's putting their hand up to say, throw it at me? Presumably.
Well, it's about really narrowing the scoreline now. I think Ireland can forget about winning this.
Kevin Mialamu comes off. Corey Flynn comes on in the New Zealand front row.
First infringement is the not straight.
Not
gentlemen. What do you
straight in the
want
line
back?
outs,
Line out or scrum.
so it doesn't work for Ireland.
There was a bit of pushing at the back. First infringement, the not straight. Put the pressure on, bind up. Driving up, please. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Stay down now.
Rodney Soyalo,
All right, leave it now, Green.
robust as ever in the back row. We talk so much about Richie McCaw, but Soyalo complements the work of McCaw so well. Long kick, and New Zealand know that Ireland really can't do anything from
Come
here.
out, Green. That's fine, play.
Will they take it quickly? They
Ball
do.
inside.
Carter. Back they go. Actually, that could work out. Muliaina rose for it. knock on by Tommy Bowe.
I guess Ireland have made more mistakes in this match than they'd have made in 3 or 4. It's something I think they'll look back on the videotape and they'll reflect on that and they'll wonder what it was that they brought into the game. The preparation, I'm sure, in terms of how they were going to play the game was sound, but mentally they just weren't right, and they're not right to take on this New Zealand side. They need to learn from that because they need to play with a lot more composure than they're showing at the moment.
Tomas O'Leary gives way to Owen Redden. It has. We just thought it was going to be such a massive challenge against the history book, against the All Blacks, and in a way it's been an anticlimax of some proportions. Tony Woodcock is limping off, so Nehemiah Tialata is coming back on. Woodcock goes off. He's been off once to the bin. This time he's going off to the ice pack.
Time on. Remember. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. Same for them. Same for you. Don't take the shoulder away, please. All right. Nice and close. Straight through. That's it. Aiming up. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
Penalty against Ireland. John Afoa rolling his shoulder, turning in. Now then, Ronan O'Gara went for the touchline last time. Ireland lost the line out. He's doing the same again.
Well, this is where I'd be looking for Owen Redden really to command that ball and take that quickly. But any kind of hesitation for even a couple of seconds, if it's not on your mind to do it, really reduces the option. And O'Gara's gone for touch now.
10.
What can they do with this? They really need. They've cut the line out short to 5. It's worked in the past.
Okay, so far so good. O'Driscoll. Tommy Bowe gets the offload into Heaslip.
And the ball at the same time, advantage back.
Ireland have spilt it.
Off your feet there. First infringement is a knock-on. Scrum down.
The tail of the game. Ireland
also tail gun, no
make a mistake, and it's an early mistake as well. They just haven't been through the phases. Set pieces have gone wrong. Set piece moves have gone wrong.
No, that was unlucky from Heaslip because he got McCaw on ball at the same time. Not a combination you really want. But yet again, they're creating some situations, but they're not able to hold on to the ball.
So Ialo plays scrum half, the little dink over the top. Well read, well covered by Tommy Bowe.
On his feet, he's fine.
But away come New Zealand with the ball.
Number 20 off your feet, sealing it off. Stay up.
Sealing it off, Piri Wipu.
Yeah. Not over there. Yeah.
Taken from the wrong
20
place.
Up on the feet, sealing it off.
And if Ireland have had a disappointing night, then really New Zealand have only blossomed in flashes.
No, it's been a pretty poor test match by all standards, by these guys' standards. I don't think either of them will take a huge amount away from it. They'll both see a huge need for improvement, because against stronger opposition, I think New Zealand would have been pushed a lot harder, and against stronger opposition, Ireland would have been well beaten.
New Zealand's third test on their tour. They played Australia in Hong Kong, played Scotland at Murrayfield, and here Ireland at Croke Park. Their record is going to be 3 out of 3.
Pulling the leg, right?
Oh dear. Another move comes to a halt, this time for a penalty. Alan Quinlan penalised for pulling a leg.
Well, I don't think he's exactly cemented his place tonight, Alan Quinlan. I think to lack of composure, you can a lack of discipline at times as well to that list.
South Black 8, green 15.
Replacement for New Zealand. Kieran Reid comes on for the All Blacks, presumably into the back row. Yeah, Rodney So'oyalo goes off and on for Ireland. Keith Earls for Gervin Dempsey. Nonu, good game Nonu's had. Very direct, good quick ball too.
Run away 8.
Richie McCaw runs onto it well. Nehemiah Tialata makes the pick up there. Promising build-up by the All Blacks. Brad Thorne had a good day out in the wide positions.
On his feet, Green has rights to the ball.
New Zealand would prefer a quicker ball than this. Piri Wipu takes a step back and then fires it out to Tialata, who drops it. And there we go. That's the game summed up, really. Flashes from New Zealand. 2 good tries, 1 penalty try. And from Ireland, desperately little.
Desperate. It's actually hard to see anything positive, unfortunately, in Ireland's display so far. Only that they can't play this badly again. The scoreline, really, by rights, should be a lot more, considering the lack of quality they've been able to show, and only for lack of quality at times from New Zealand. It's a 22-3.
Touch, pause, engage.
They've certainly played a lot better and come off a lot worse at times against New Zealand.
Ireland scrummage now under a bit of trouble.
Oh, lost forward by Green. Scrum, black ball.
Yeah, Ireland scrum under pressure, knocking the ball on. The line out was the first set piece to Creek, and now it appears the scrum is going too.
Yes, and it's not been held by, I guess, Stephen Ferris on the pitch, playing out of position in an unfamiliar role of second row. Gives Declan Kidney something to reflect on if he considers that one again.
You can't really tell from this picture, but there's a massive gap between the scrum and 2 wide players. They've gone that way. They've gone through Kaino to Carter on that left-hand side. Dan Carter passes it straight to Luke Fitzgerald. So even Dan Carter joins the parade of error makers. Yeah, man. Ireland from their own goal line. David Wallace tackled by Brad Thorne on the touchline. Jerry Flannery, replacement hooker.
All right, leave it now, Black. Leave it back.
Redden, O'Gara, Quinlan.
There,
Ireland still
now.
stuck in their 22. They're down to 14 players. I think it's Fitzgerald having attention on that far side. O'Gara slips.
All right, leave it now, Green.
New Zealand turn it over. Feel a try is coming. Tialata nearly knocks on for the second time in a minute. Clings onto it. Wipu. He drops it now. Oh dear.
Leave it clear, Black.
We are talking about total disintegration of a test match here. It's
still advantage, Green, for the
staggeringly
knock-on.
poor.
It's advantage for the knock.
Redden. Well, that's an interesting kick. I think Ireland still have the advantage. Yes, they do.
No
So we'll go
advantage.
back for the scrum.
Slow ball.
Well, the ball's a liability really at the moment, isn't it, to both sides, and particularly to Ireland, deep inside their own 22. It looks like Luke Fitzgerald. He's done a lot of running for not an awful lot tonight. Showed little glimpses of what could be possible with a more steady possession.
Just watching Paddy Wallace come off the bench. Number 21 for Ireland, Paddy Wallace is on. Luke Fitzgerald gets to his feet. Paddy Wallace at a reluctant entry. Number 21, I don't think you can see him there, but he hasn't exactly galloped onto the field to join the phrase. It's a sort of, do I have to?
Come on. Straight scrums. Sensible now.
Can you see who's gone off? Is it? It is Luke Fitzgerald.
Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage. The weight on, Green. Keep it on. Keep the weight on.
Well, as often happens when games are effectively decided with about 20-25 minutes to go virtually, the last period can be pretty flat, and that's what's happened. I have to say the first 60 minutes was pretty flat as well at times.
Pause,
But
engage.
And just while you're not watching and you can't see it, Stephen Donald has just swapped places with Joe Roccathocco. So for it's one of those substitutions that the referee hasn't seen, so it would have been interesting.
If you present it, you must put it. Sensible, gentlemen. Let's get it steady. Crouch. Touch. Pause. Engage.
There goes the Irish scrum under pressure. Heaslip to Redden.
Away, Green.
Penalty. Early stoppage in play. No head of steam built up.
Away there. Clean it up. All falling on the wrong side. It's three of you.
Well, Owen Redden fought them out of the quick one that time, but he didn't go with it. And again, Ireland are going to be faced with another line-out. They found a little bit of success with the five-man line-out. They're probably going to need to stick with that, particularly with what they've got left on the pitch and what's coming on now. Buckley and Shane Jennings as they come into the fray.
England versus Australia. Highlights right now on BBC Three. You have permission to leave this entire contest at Croke Park. John Hayes comes off, Tony Buckley comes on. I think David Wallace will come off. Meanwhile, can New Zealand finish with a flourish? Oops, Man Nono, he's been one of the stars of the night. Sivivatu drops it this time. Oh dear, oh dear.
I think it was just two guys shoulder to shoulder. I will come to the back now and watch you, all right?
Well, this last 20 minutes has been so broken up and very little continuity in it. I think both teams are going to come off the park feeling like they've only played 60 minutes.
Aiming up, gentlemen.
They really haven't even been able to get out of breath in the last 10 minutes.
Oh, free kick. Heaslip takes it quickly. Quinlan, O'Driscoll.
Relax.
There we go then. A chance here for Ireland. No. Penalty awarded. Instead, Keith Earls can't make any headway.
Relax. All right, get them close, get them tight. 21 swinging arms. Careful, eh? Hit nothing, but just careful. Settle now.
Sweet little kick from Dan Carter.
All right, sweet.
The man of the match, with the scrum cap, heading towards the line-out. Tallest man in the All Blacks side, Ali Williams. He's done a great job of taking apart the Irish line-out.
Yes.
But there weren't that many contenders. Here he is again, gets one hand to it, and the man of the match loses a line-out. Such other ways. Now then, Shane Jennings, fresh on. Passing, that's better. Keith Earls takes on Silivatus, and New Zealand come away with the ball.
Run away there, Green.
Now then, interesting. Piriwipu has been marvellous, and New Zealand are offside.
Influence, number 12.
It's almost a case to make Piriwipu man of the match. I mean, he's only been on for 10 minutes, but there haven't been many golden moments in this game. Certainly not in this second half.
And influence.
Yeah, offside.
As well offside, but Keith Earls wasn't to know that as he jogs back. I don't know what the disease is tonight, but it's obviously gone right through to the bench because Keith Earls comes on, makes a half a break, but gives the ball away, and then really showed no urgency to get back and chase that kick.
All right, Lossie, back, leave it!
Oh, sweet little flip from Brian O'Driscoll to Tommy Bowe. Ireland, good ruck. O'Driscoll driven backwards.
All right, leave it black, leave it green.
Turnover ball. Story of Ireland's game. John Afoa. And a pass. I think Ireland got a hand to it. It's a knock-on by Ireland. We're into overtime. That is the end of the game.
Wait. Time is up,
Mercifully,
gentlemen.
this test is going to come to its conclusion. Memorable only because it keeps the All Blacks on track for a Grand Slam tour. Ireland cannot put an end to their sad history against New Zealand. They still haven't beaten the All Blacks. In fact, it's been a comfortable win here for New Zealand. But really, this one can be erased.
Yes, I don't think Declan Kidney will have learned an awful lot from that, only that he probably needs to consider the mental preparation a little bit more, because that Irish side that took the field were not playing with any composure whatsoever.
From Croke Park, Ireland 3, New Zealand 22.